pressing all the buttons tonight. Did you hear that? I was setting all the music off. I couldn't click on the right thing there. So good evening. How is everybody? Everybody is well. If you're listening on the replay or you're watching on the replay on YouTube or on Facebook or anywhere else, thank you for joining us on the replay. If you're listening on Spotify, listening on iTunes, listening on Stitcher or SoundCloud, because all the audio from these live broadcasts goes up to those platforms. So if you ever miss one of these live broadcasts on a Monday night, you can go and catch up on Spotify, on iTunes. Just search for Act on This TV, all one word. You'll find the Act on This TV audio experience. You'll also find me putting out other random bits of audio on there as well. None of the premium stuff from actonthis.tv, so the premium podcasts, that people subscribe to and the members pay for, none of that goes up there, so don't worry about that. But you will get some extra stuff on there that you don't have to pay for. So if you're on a long commute from work, or you're on the train in the morning, you're walking the dog, you're in the gym or whatever, and you need some company, I'll be more than happy to keep you company. So once again, for those who are only just joining, huge shout out, Bill, Carly, Linda. Warren says, good week, worked with Chris Stone, I got my new reel sorted. I worked with Chris Stone last week as well. Chris Stone, honestly, and Steph, his wife, in terms of doing show reels, they're so freaking good. They're so good. I just got asked by somebody, they caught me on a really good day where someone had just done a favour for me, and someone DM'd me on Twitter, a lad called Jamie, and just went, mate, would you do think of doing a show reel with me? And I never normally have time, but I thought, you know what? Someone's just really gone out of their way to help me, so I'm going to go out on my way to help them. And it was such a good laugh. I can't wait to put that out. We did a comedy loosely based around someone's life that we know. But yeah, we'll remain nameless, but it's funny, man. It's funny. I had a good time. So Warren, I look forward to watching that, mate. James is working hard on the Polar Express for another week and hustling. Nice one. Keep the hustle going. Jamie's just joined us. All right, mate. How you doing? So Matt's in the house as well. And Matt Hall is in the house, and Indra, and Nina, and Joanna, and Tat. Everybody's joining now. Andrew, Lucy, Kat, Carly, again. I've said hello to Carly 17 times. Right, tonight, what to talk about? Okay, this is something that I put out in a podcast today. So last week, if I go over to actonthis.tv, I've just published this today, right? This is actonthis.tv, the website I run for those who don't know. If you go into what's new, this new feature went up on the site today. A brand new feature goes up on the site roughly once a week, once every 2 weeks max, at the latest. So you're getting constant content on this website from the biggest names in the acting industry, agents, actors, casting directors, writers, producers. I put this up today. This is my latest podcast with agents Nicola, Bolton, and Bryony, Pulizzi from Regan Management. Regan Talent Group, basically. Regan Talent Group is a bit of a conglomerate of three offices in one, really. They've got an office in Cardiff, they've got an office in London, and they've got an office in Manchester. They're repping some awesome clients, working on really big shows, TV, film, theatre. They rep people for ADR, voiceover as well, quite a few disciplines. And they came round to my apartment last week, and we sat down over a brew, and we talked about agenting, how to get an agent, how to build the best rapport with your agent, get the most out of the relationship with your agent, ultimately how you can, work with your agent, not letting them do all the work on their own to maximize the amount of work that you can get. And an hour and 45 minutes, we ended up phoning premium members of actonthis.tv as well. It's another reason why, if you're a member of the community, reason to be a member of the community, you can join in these podcasts. I literally would ring people. We rang about 4 or 5 actors. That's all we had time to get through. I had about 8 or 9 lined up, but I couldn't get to everybody. But yeah, 4 or 5 actors, and then you literally just, can put your story to them, where you're at, whether you're struggling to get rep, whether you're thinking of changing agents, etc. And between us all, we can help you and give you advice. And we did that for an hour and 45 minutes. If you've not heard this yet, go and listen to the full podcast. But I'm going to play you out tonight the behind the scenes vlog of this. Let me know if you already listened to this. If you're watching on Facebook right now, leave a comment. Let me know if you already heard it. There's a video. I now do video podcasts as well as audio, so you can actually hit play on this, and you won't be able to see it very well because it's not going to stream too well on a live broadcast. But you can now watch the entire video of these recordings, or you can just play the audio. So you've got double value there. Both options. Thanks to Bill Blackwood for the suggestion of making sure that everybody can watch the video as well. But let me know if you've seen that already, and let me know where you're at with an agent as well, because there's something at the end of this broadcast, at the end of this vlog I'm going to play you now, that we talk about that's not in the main podcast, and that's what I want to talk about after I play you this out as well. I think it's absolutely critical. I know so many people on this broadcast right now who are looking for an agent or who are looking to change agents you're letting yourself off. What you're doing now is you're going, it's the 2nd of December. No agents are going to be bothered about taking on new clients yet. They're going to, be doing that in the new year. If you are going to wait until the new year, right, you're making a massive mistake. We talk about this at the end of this vlog, and I'm going to play it for you now, so I won't go into too much detail. But these next 3 weeks, very often, can be very quiet weeks for agents because a lot of their actors are working. It's panto season. They've been off doing stuff. If they've got a time to look through submissions and kind of catch up on admin, it's kind of now within these next 3 weeks where it is relatively quiet because most stuff has already been cast now and has been done. It's the only time of the year really probably where it does become a little bit quiet. If you're going to wait and send all your stuff off in January and do what everyone else does, you know, you're going to be competing not against just the 50 people who submit a week now. There's going to be like another 200 and so people submitting every week, you know, in January, and you're just going to get lost. So we're going to talk about that at the end of this broadcast, but I'm going to play you the blog for a sec. All right, Marek's just joined. How you doing? Bobby's here as well. Chloe said she's finally logged in. Inez has just joined us as well. All right. But yeah, let us know if you've seen this already. I don't think many people have because I've not really promoted it an awful lot today. So it'll be new hopefully for a lot of people. It's only about 22 minutes or something like that. But I'm going to play it now. I can still see your comments. You lot on the audio experience, you're going to be able to hear it as opposed to watch it. But if you do want to watch it, go over to youtube.com/watch Ross. This is episode 65 on YouTube. And then we're going to talk all about where people are at with agents after this, all right? So I can still see your comments, so still comment as we're going through, and I'll be back in like 20 minutes when this is played out, all right? Enjoy. See you in a minute. If you were starting out, Nicola, you're starting out, Bryony, and you wanted to sign with Regan, what are the steps you would take to do that as quickly as possible? Welcome everybody to episode 65 of Watch Ross, the one where Christmas has come early with another acting agent phone-in.
Merry Christmas!
Yes, it is beginning to look a lot like Christmas, as you've just seen. We've been out in Ermston, the lights are up, the trees are up, Lily's have got their tree up, we've got mince pies being served, Petch is singing along to Justin Bieber, I think.
It's the most beautiful time of the year.
He's a little bit drunk, he's had a mulled wine. We are here to deliver you guys a very special, slightly early Christmas present in the form of a brand new premium podcast for members of actsonthis.tv. Petch, if you're an actor and you're not a member of actsonthis.tv, what are you?
You're missing out.
You are missing out indeed, particularly when you see what we have got in store for you today. Well, technically tomorrow is when we're going to film it, but we've got two great guests on this podcast. Nicola Bolton, senior agent of Regan Manchester, and her associate Bryony Pulizzi. I think that's how you say surname, Bryony. Associate agent at Regan Manchester. Regan Manchester is part of the wider Regan Talent Group. They've got offices in Manchester, in Cardiff, in London as well. Fantastic acting agency, representing some top talent, working on some top shows. And we're going to do a phone-in podcast where members of Acts on This get to phone in.
Your call is important to us. Please continue to hold.
And pitch their questions to Nicola and Bryony. I know there are members in this community watching right now who want to sign with Regan, you know, as their agent. And this is an opportunity for you exclusively as well. No one else is doing this, Petch, to get a chance to speak to your potentially future agent, like from the comfort of your own home. No one's bringing you this opportunity. It's another reason why you want to be involved in this community. So Bryony and Nicola are going to be coming around tomorrow, like I say, as we film this. So technically, Petch, it was the night before the podcast. I need some more mulled wine because tomorrow morning there'll be two agents round mine. This is the Regan Manchester podcast.
So, Nicola Bolton, Bryony Pulizzi, Bryony Pulizzi, whatever we're calling you today. I can't believe you said people literally have called you Bryony in the past. Welcome to my kitchen.
Hello, nice to be here.
Thank you so much for being here. Again, we've got our Costas for the umpteenth time. We always get a Costa before a podcast, and Costa, you keep ignoring me. So if you could please
Sponsorship.
answer my tweets, give us. We only want a coffee. It's only £3.60. I'm not asking for thousands. But yeah, they should power us through. What's going to be? I hope. I don't know what's going to happen, but a really interesting podcast. So
do we hope the same.
I'm sure it will be. We've got some guests to phone today.
Amazing.
We've not done a phone in for a while, Petch. But we are going to be doing one today. I've got maybe 6 or 7 actors. We're going to be phoning up, talking to them all about agents, getting representation, building a better rapport with their agent if they're currently represented. There's some people who are like, having no luck getting representation, maybe look at what they're doing wrong, what more they could be doing. But before we get into that, let's get into, Regan as Regan Talent Group, not just an agency in Manchester. You guys are from Regan, Manchester. You've got offices in Cardiff and London as well.
That's correct.
Give us a breakdown on Regan as an agency as a whole, as an organisation, and then the role that you guys play in it.
Oh, that's a big question. Central office is in Cardiff.
Yep.
And 5 years ago, I know Leanne Regan, who's the big boss, and she approached me. I was an actor at the time, and she said, how do you feel about being an agent? Because at the time I was working at Lipper in Liverpool.
Right.
Yeah, I was a visiting practitioner at Lipper, and I was sort of always giving her like Welsh clients. I was going, we've got this good student. Do you want her? So she said, have you ever thought about being an agent? I was like, I haven't actually.
Right.
And then I had a little, it's a little earworm, isn't it? And you think, okay. And then, so she said, this is what we're going to do. So she went, I got trained up. She got me in an office in Media City.
Yep.
And that was it. And then I just, and what's interesting is because I was an actor myself, I knew everybody at Corrie, I knew everybody at Emmerdale, I knew everybody at Hollyoaks. I knew, I had all the contacts in the rep theatres where I used to work. So when I told them all that I was going to change over, they were like, yeah, that's fine. That's fine. They all took it, So, and 5 years later, we've built the book, haven't we, between us? And, we're doing some really great work now. I think everyone says to me, what do you specialise in? And it's like, well, nothing really. We do everything. We do TV, film, theatre, commercials, ADR work, voiceovers. What's the other one with the balls on?
Motion capture.
That's the one. That's the one.
I was about to say they do a little bit of that as well. Excellent.
So so we sort of work in isolation, but with the other offices.
Yeah.
So if that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely.
So we have our own book. Bryony's got her own list, and we look after everybody together. We've also got Georgia. Hi, Georgia.
All right,
She's back
Georgia.
at the office, bless her.
Oh.
So we work together, and then we also work with the other offices as well.
I trained as an actress myself, so I studied at the American Academy of Dramatic Arts in
Get
Los Angeles.
right in on this mic, Bryony.
Sorry.
There you go.
And then I think that was where my passion for the other side of the industry actually bloomed, to be honest, in LA, because they kind of taught me a different way of looking at the industry. And, they said, it's show business, and that's what it is. It's a business.
Yeah, I love it.
And so I came back, and Nikki took me under a wing, and I've learned literally everything that I know about this industry from Nikki. So I can't take any credit for, the agency as it stands. But yeah, so I started to build my own list about 6 months ago. So it's building slowly. So we're getting there.
Well, this is interesting. What are the challenges then? Because, I hear of a lot of, that you get a lot of kind of junior agents, some of the big, the big six, like in London, and you always hear this, they're going to start their list. Or I mean, what actually, the practicalities, what goes into that in terms of how many clients, are you looking, is it like a small list you try to build instantly? You're going, right, I'm just going to get 6 people and see if I can get these into work, or do you have a plan for further down the line?
I think to start off with, because I still look after all of the, I started off as the assistant. So I was there for 2 years before I even started my own list. I had to learn the ropes. And then Leanne, who's the big boss, was like, how do you feel about starting up your own little list? And it wasn't like, okay, in 3 months, I'm going to have this amount of people. It's kind of,
It's organic, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
really?
organic. And so I am actively looking for new clients, but at the same time I will want to keep my list small because I'm still learning and but the clients that I take on, Nikki also looks after too.
Yeah.
Same as I look after Nikki's clients as well. So we are under one big family. But yeah, it's an organic process taking on.
What are the biggest challenges, like when you are starting out on your own list? Is there any kind of trepidation just before you take on your first client where you're like, oh my God, I'm actually going to do this?
Do you know what it is? It's the idea, because I've been an actor myself, and I've had bad agents.
That we won't mention.
Yeah, that we won't mention.
Yeah.
And I've had good agents as well, but it's a lot of responsibility to know I'm not solely responsible, but this person is trusting me with their career. So, we have to work hard at it. So I think the biggest thing for me wasn't, the practicalities of it. It was just, this is a big responsibility, but, everyone that I've taken on, I have a really great relationship with, which is super important. So I think that.
And you believe in them. That's the thing. You see something in them and you think, right, I know I can get them.
Yeah.
I can get them in the door.
Yeah.
I can get them work.
What is it then that you see in someone? And also, let's look at that first. And then also, you said you've had bad agents and you've had good. Let's look at, in your guys' opinion, what makes a bad and what makes a good. But in terms of what is it in someone that you're seeing where you're like, I know I can get them through the door.
Right. Well, it's.
Hello, Kate Perry. It's Ross Grant from Ats on This. How are you?
Hello, Ross Grant. How are you doing on my lunch break temping? Oh my God.
Oh, well, this is
That worked out well.
perfect
It worked out
timing.
very well. Oxford Street.
Incredible. Well, I'm joined by Nikki Bolton and Bryony Pulizzi from Regan
Hello.
Management.
Hi.
What can we do for you? You've got quite an interesting. Well, your question you wrote to me is really, really interesting. Do you want to explain it, and we'll try and help you?
Say what? What did you say, Ross? What was interesting?
Well, everything. Your situation. You're doing loads. I've seen your comedy stuff you put online. Your characters, they're fantastic.
Yes.
You're creating good stuff. You're winning accolades. All this kind of stuff.
Yes.
But you're still facing a bit of adversity. Explain your situation, and let's try and help you.
Well, allegedly, I'm a multi-award winning, actor, writer, comedian. You've seen my credits. I've written for Radio 4 and good people have been in my shows. I do my own work. I travel abroad to do my shows. I won a JBA award this year. And I'm just not being seen, and I don't know why. And I mean, my passion is comedy. I love comedy, but I mean, obviously I do other stuff. But I've been in London now 5 years, and basically just been doing my own work, which is grand. But, I'd like to do somebody else's work as well. So I don't know what's holding me up. And like I said in my email, I'm in my 50s and now I'm beginning to think maybe that is it.
No, not at all. Not at all. What do you want to do?
Mainly comedy. I mean, I'd love to do comedy on TV. That would be my end goal. To get into something, a
Bit of
sitcom
Derry
or something.
Girls. You sound like Derry Girls.
Yeah,
Something
I
like
did
that.
audition for the Mother and Derry Girls, and I'm from
brilliant.
Derry. How do you like that?
Fabulous. Well, that's good, isn't it? I mean, have you, with your own stuff, have you tried to go to BBC Drama or Channel 4 or anything? Have you tried to go in that way to get things commissioned?
Yes, and I've met, I'm on the ITV 50-50 thing, and I've gone and met producers and people, but, I'm just not getting in the door to see the audition for major casting directors.
What would you do, guys, as if a client came to you after 4 months and were like, "Look, I've got a decent body of work. I'm not getting in the door." Would you go, right? Okay, let's target specific comedy casting directors.
Yeah,
And are you doing this, Kate, in terms of you going, right?
Yes.
I'm gonna.
And I remember the last time you looked at my show, Neil Ross, and you sent me a couple of casting, and I wrote to them. They said, "Thank you, we'll keep you in mind." But and unless you're doing a show, like you said, and doing something, you don't want to say, "Hey, I'm still out here." But every time I do my show, sorry,
I was going to say, you've got a good show reel, so you can send that to them. You can always send that around. That. I mean, I think once every 6 months is fine to send your stuff out.
I think sometimes, so we've had actors in the past. I mean, it's really hard to see without, having like your show reel here and your CV and your headshots. But we've had actors where we've said, okay, come in, have a chat, and we mix it up. And Keely springs to mind for me. She had these really glamorous headshots, and she went and she had some new headshots taken, and from there, that's where her work started to come in.
Oh, right. And I've literally just got new headshots done last week, so that's a good excuse to.
Yeah, well, exactly. And use those things as an excuse. Every time you've got a new scene, every time you've got new headshots, it's part of casting directors' jobs to find new talent and, you know, to read these emails and stuff like that.
Okay.
But yeah, I would definitely have a conversation with your agent. You know, it's fine to call and say, look, I'm a little bit worried just because I've never been, and I think it's being really specific about what you want. So you've said, you know, I want to be in the room with bigger casting directors. So then it's like setting goals of how in the next 6 months you can make that happen together with your agent. Do you know what I mean? So it's setting those goals. Yeah. And so do you have a good understanding of casting directors as well? So you kind of know who's what and what they're casting?
Yeah, I do. And I used to work in an agency in Dublin in Ireland. So I do know how that works. But I also know how inundated they get. And I also know they have their go-to list sometimes. Yes.
Which we do battle against.
Yeah. So I get all that, but
who would you be targeting casting director wise for comedy right now? Because you've got Alice Searby at Brassic, but I guess that's almost done now, isn't it? Brassic season 2. They have had Irish people in that though. In season 1, they had Irish people in it. But who have we got in the country?
It's the North.
Nikki Bly.
Yeah, Nadira C. Kumar.
Yeah, Nadira does all of the like the white gold stuff and all of the like with the Damon Beasley, all the in-betweeners boys stuff, all that kind of thing. So yeah, Nadira C. Kumar. And also as well, Kate, because you know you've got, I've seen that reel of comedy characters and stuff you've got as well. You're clearly very good at that. There's a way you should be repurposing that as well. You've got one, so I do this with all the content that I put out with this website and stuff. You know, you've got 1 5-minute clip there, and that's great. That's a 5-minute clip you can put on YouTube, you can put on Facebook, etc. But I would cut down 60-second versions of that, and I'd put them out on Instagram, and I'd tag producers in them. I'd put them out on Twitter. I'd tag producers in them. You know, other comedy writers. You know, in terms of collaborations and that sort of stuff. It's ultimately about marketing yourself and being omnipresent on all these platforms, so people are aware that that's what you do. Yes, it's great. You've got one clip that's 5 minutes long, but that you can only do so much with that. Doesn't mean you have to go and shoot new stuff, although that would be good if you could shoot another few 30-second bits. And it's just constantly just putting them out there, you know, and be tagging there's so many comedy people on Twitter, all the producers, writers, all the directors, the writers, and it's just, you know, making everybody know that you are there, like you're available.
It's refreshing yourself, isn't it? Rebooting, that's what we call it, don't we? When we go, right, we've got the new photos, the new show reel, we've had a look at the spotlight, we've rejigged it, we've changed, and it's amazing how that changes people's fortunes.
27 now, so I felt like time was running out, so I thought it's now or never.
Time is running out.
Oh my goodness, 27!
Anthony,
oh my god!
You could fall asleep for a decade, mate. Wake up and you'd still be younger than me. Chill out.
I just sort of put it off, you know, since even at school I was going to do it and then didn't do, you know, drama and stuff. So I thought the timing was right more than time running out, I think.
Yeah.
So where are you at, mate? Let's work this back. So you want to get an agent now. So let's work backwards then of how you're going to do that. What is Anthony going to need if you're a new agent if you're a new actor? And let's do it for you guys. So if you were starting out, Nicola, you're starting out, Bryony, and you wanted to sign with Regan, what are the steps you would take to do that as quickly as possible?
Well, I'd have
There you go, everybody. So that was the Regan Manchester podcast. Thank you so much once again for being here. We just want to expand on just a couple of things that came up in that podcast. These are things that I'm very passionate about at this time of year, right? This is the Christmas, the first part of a Christmas kind of vibe on this vlog for this year. And a lot of people, guys, a lot of actors want to allow fear to masquerade itself as practicality at this time of year. And they're saying things to me like, I'm not writing to agents because they're going to be winding down for Christmas. I'm going to write to them in January because that's when everyone's going to be geared up for the new year. I think it's the worst strategy. I think the next 5 weeks, right, or when this vlog goes out, you might only have 4 weeks or so, but the last kind of 4 weeks before people wrap up for Christmas are a golden opportunity for actors to get ahead of their competition because everyone's waiting for the new year when you guys are already 50 submissions a week are probably going to be getting 250 submissions a week. Can you just tell people that not to waste the next few weeks?
Absolutely. What I would say is write in now. I think if you leave it till after Christmas, it's that's when everybody will be doing the same thing. So you're less likely to get more of a response then, really. So I'd say do it now. The business is constantly busy. So yeah, just if you don't put it off, just don't put off today what you can do tomorrow. Is that right? That's the right thing.
Off till tomorrow.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one.
That was so inspirational. I think for us, the majority of our actors are also during this time of year working. So if there's any time that we do have a little downtime to be sitting and looking through submissions, it's actually now, when our actors that we do have are in work. It's panto season, and so yeah, absolutely get to it now, and not new year, new me.
Yeah.
Right now.
Yeah, exactly. New you right now. If you want to know, basically, as well, what to write in your correspondence with agents and stuff, we cover quite a bit of that within the podcast. Go over to actonthis.tv right now. Grab your membership if you've not got one, but listen to the full podcast. That was an hour and 45 minutes, that. One other thing that came up, just to finish on, is communication, ultimately. That was like a big theme in terms of if you're already repped. So this is for people who are already repped and might be feeling like, am I with the right agent? The grass always seems greener, doesn't it? Or maybe I should get another agent because I'll get more auditions, etc. And sometimes it just comes down to having those really honest, open chats with your agent that can change the game for you. What would you say to anybody who is thinking right now, like, maybe I'm not with the right agent, should I change? When really it might just be the fact that you're not communicating enough.
Yeah, I'd say, your agent is a human being. I would say have a chat with them, tell them what your feelings, and be honest and open, but be practical and be realistic as well. If you've not been doing any groundwork yourself, then you can't expect someone else to work for you. They should be working with you. So yeah, of course, the grass always seems to be greener, but I think you must look at what your agent gets already. And if people are working and doing good stuff, then they're obviously very capable. And I would have that conversation with them and have a chat with them. Sometimes it's time to move on. It is, it's, and sometimes it's like, no, we've had a good refresh. We've got a game plan. We've got something that we can do moving forwards. Be it, new photos, new show reel, looking at the spotlight, the way it's laid out. So it's that thing, communication, talk to your agent. Don't talk behind your agent's back.
No, don't do that.
Yeah. No, if anything, I think we notice more when we don't hear from our actors. It's not when we do hear from them, we're not like, it's, we want to hear from you, and that is our job, and it is a relationship, and it's a two-way street, and it's also, it's your career, so we're not working harder than you are. But yeah, I don't think you should ever be afraid to call your agent, and perhaps if you are and you've had a conversation about it, then maybe it's time to consider, okay, maybe this isn't the agent for me. You should have a good relationship with your agent, and I think if you don't, then address it through communication or perhaps move on, maybe.
Awesome. There you go. And I just want to say as well, right, it's never quiet, is it? That's something that we're saying before. Actors want to use this excuse, and I think some agents, I'm not going to say anybody, but sometimes will give you this nonsense that, but it's quiet. I read a lot of stuff that's being commissioned week on week. It's busy all year round. I've not seen a month this year where something's not been going on. Just confirm that's real, innit?
Yeah, I mean, there's so much, especially with Netflix and Sky and all the different streaming, there's so much stuff happening, and there's theatre happening all the time. Of course, you might get the odd day when it's a little bit quiet, and then you'll go, wow, it's constant. Even sort of historically, it's been August when casting directors have been on holiday. It doesn't seem to, nothing stopped this year, did it?
No. But also in those times that you personally, we're not talking industry-wise, but you personally are having a quieter time, then it's time to, re-energize and re-strategize, and get writing and get creating, and then, get together and make a game plan with your agent. There really is no such thing as a quiet time in this industry. Yeah.
There you go, and do it now, freaking right now. Don't wait until 2020. New year, new me. Nonsense. New you now. Do that. Listen, thank you so much for watching. Go over to actonthis.tv. You want to listen to the full podcast there. There was some awesome conversation we had there. Thank you so much to the people who submitted questions and allowed us to phone you guys, get you on the podcast. Big shout out to you guys, and we'll be doing this again soon. We're going to have some more people on where you'll be able to get involved, be able to phone up and speak to the guests direct. I think it's a really nice way to do it. So thank you
so much for being here. Social media is up on screen right now. Reach out, let us know your thoughts. We'll be back next week for, don't know who we're going to get on next, Patch. Who have we got lined up? Let's keep it a secret. We never know who we've got lined up from one week to the next. But do join us for the next vlog. Until then, have you remembered the catchphrase? It's cringe, isn't it? Have you remembered it? No. Yeah, it's not hard. It's 3 words. Have you remembered it? My God. Right. So, ladies, you know what time it is. In 3, 2, 1. Bye for now. But it's not actually bye for now, is it? Because I'm not going to play the credits out because you'll all think that the live broadcast is finished, and it hasn't. So what do you think of that then? Yeah, so that, if that was only 20 minutes of what was an hour and 45-minute podcast that I recorded with Nicola and Bryony. Go over to actsonthis.tv. You'll find the podcast in the What's New section. You can watch it like a 10-minute preview of it if you're not a member. If you've not got your membership, grab your membership. 3 people have grabbed the membership this evening whilst that's been playing out, which obviously want access to the full thing, but you're going to get access as well. So over 200 hours of other features with the biggest casting directors, agents, actors, writers, producers in TV. And we are talking like literally the biggest. Every casting director, in TV practically has been on this website for in-depth podcast, giving out really frank, honest advice. So do go and listen to the full thing. And if you want to, if you do get a membership as well, you'll get to take part in these podcasts moving forward. Because like I say, in that podcast, we had people phoning. While I was phoning them, members of Acts on This were putting questions in beforehand. I was ringing them up and we were chatting to them live on the broadcast. But the part there at the end, so critical, guys. It's the 2nd of December right now. Just be honest if you are in that position where you were like, you know what, yeah, I do need representation. Maybe I signed with someone earlier this year. We've not really done anything in 2019. I'm no further ahead, coming into 2020 as I was coming into 2019. Maybe you just haven't managed to sign with an agent all year because you've not maybe taken enough action because you've been afraid. You are probably going to be, I only know because I've been here. Been here so many times before, myself, where I've been like, no, you know what? It's a great excuse, isn't it? I'm going to leave it until next year. I'm going to start the year fresh. Forget it. It's only 3-4 more weeks. No, forget it. These are absolutely golden weeks of the year where you can get ahead of all of your competition because everybody else is in that mindset that they're going to do it next year. And you've just heard it there. The reason I wanted to bring Bryony and Nicola onto the podcast is, you heard it from 2 top agents where they're like, you need to be writing to us now. You need to be doing your research now whilst, nobody else is writing into them. Although now we'll probably have a huge influx because so many people have watched this tonight. Everyone's going to be writing in. But yeah, I just think it is, these 3 weeks are critical for anything, whether it's headshots. You need to get new headshots. See if you can get a session booked in before Christmas. If it's a showreel scene, see if you can get it shot before Christmas. Whatever it is that you were going to do, get your showreel edited maybe. Get it done before Christmas. You don't want to be sleepwalking into 2020 and then, you start back on like the 4th of January and then you've got this mountain to climb. Trust me, since 2014, I've made sure that I have got all goal setting. We're going to do a lot on goal setting over the next couple of weeks as well. I'll do a goal setting broadcast probably next Monday, taking you guys through real strategic goal setting. When you get all your ducks in a row, you can go into Christmas so kind of pumped up and you can enjoy it because on the other side, you've got a game plan, you know what's going on. You're so much more empowered starting the new year. This is why most people, new year, new me, and it's bullshit. People's New Year's resolutions normally, the average in terms of when most people quit their New Year's resolutions, the 24th of January, they just can't hack it past that point because it was too big a task because they set up no foundations going into that task. So whatever it is, if you're thinking of getting fit in the new year, you're joining a gym, go and join it now. Pay the extra month's membership and then do a few sessions in between stuff when you're faced with turkey over Christmas. You're going to feel better about yourself and you're not starting at the bottom of the mountain. Does it make sense? Because honestly, it's just I've just seen this. I've done this myself in business, my career, lots of other areas of my life where I've got ahead of the pack by basically taking action now as opposed to leaving it till later. Cy Barton's joined. All right, Cy. Catherine McDermott's in the house. All right, Catherine. Carl said he's late, but that's all right, Carl. We'll let you off. Jill's here. Janet was watching over on LinkedIn, but she felt lonely, so she's popped back here now. Lee's just joined us as well. Let's have a look. Chloe says, I'm going backwards each month, but NHS and acting is a bad combo. Well, let's get some goals down, Chloe, for the new year so that this doesn't happen in 2020. You don't want to be, what's that old saying, living the same life, doing the same thing 75 years.
doing the same thing every year for 75 years and calling it a life. It's not really a life, is it? So just have a look at like what you've actually done this year, and if you are really further ahead than you were last year in your acting career or whatever area of your life you're working on, and ask why not. And a lot of it will be because of fear. Just know it is. Just a lot of it will be because you're too worried about what other people think of you in this industry. One other thing I want to say, actually, I've had a few emails through today from people, from actors. One, incredibly polite actor, bless her, even asked permission to send me an email. Was like, hi, just wondering if I could ask you a question. And that was the first email. So I had to write back, yeah, of course it is. And then there's a second email. It's almost like they were looking for permission even to ask. And I'm like, listen, this is a big thing for a lot of people. Stop asking for permission to even ask for something. You don't need to do that. Honestly, in life, you need to get out there and start asking for more. You're too worried about what other people are going to think of you. And too many people, the next email was like, can I send you what I'm going to send to this casting director? You don't need to, because every single time this happens, I write back, great, really good, send it. It's like, what are you going to write in an email that's really going to upset somebody that much? If you have any emotional intelligence, you're not going to write, Dear Dave, I'd love to be in your show, you dickhead. You're not going to write that, are you? That's the only thing you could possibly write that's going to get like a bad response. If you just write in, hey, I'm an actor, want to introduce myself, here's my show reel, I've got a new headshot taken, haven't had the privilege of meeting you yet, would love to be seen for even one line on whatever you're casting right now, if you know what it is they're casting. Like, you're not going to actually put your foot in it, are you? So that's another big thing as well I want people to focus on in the new year. Stop asking like for permission for even the most basic shit. Just learn to trust yourself. I've got to get people to the point where they just trust themselves, because I promise you, regret is the ultimate poison, and poison will just be running through your veins when you're like 85, 90, when you look back and you go, holy shit, in my prime, the best days of my life, when I really had the mobility to go and attack what I wanted to attack in the world and really have a shot at this acting malarkey, I didn't do it because I was shit scared of offending somebody who I didn't even know. It's just a losing strategy. People just need to stop it. Ask for what you want, and 9 times out of 10, life will pay the price. Indra, you asked before as well. We have got an Act on This meetup. So for those who are new to this broadcast or new to actonthis.tv, we do an in-person meetup on the first Saturday of every single month. It's completely free to attend. I host the Manchester one at Home Theatre in Manchester. Come down, have a coffee, get a cake, talk through your career. 30 or 40 of us will help you, again, get a strategy together for you to deploy that month. You come back the next month, we see if you've hit those goals, we give you more goals, you go out and do that. But the Christmas one is happening next Saturday, December the 7th. It's not going to be a formal, let's sit down and plan our careers. We can talk career, but I'm taking everyone to the Christmas markets. That's what we do at Christmas. So I don't know the meeting point yet. I'm going to put it in the Facebook group, and I'll put it on the Facebook page for Act on This as well. It's facebook.com/Act on This TV, and it's facebook.com/groups/Act on This TV. I might even send an email out to the email list about it. We normally in Manchester meet outside the town hall. The London lot, which is Wendy and Mel and everybody down there, I don't know where they're going to meet. If it's going to be at the usual place, which is Banugo Bar at BFI, the British Film Institute on South Bank. But I will be trying to get everybody to meet somewhere around the town hall. There was some refurbishment work being done to the town hall in Manchester, and that's why I don't know if where we normally meet is actually accessible. I'm going to check that out this week, and I will post in the Facebook group. But come down. Like, if there's one to come down to that's not daunting, because people are a little bit like, again, they're worried about what people are going to think of them. Oh, I'm nervous of turning up on my own. You're an actor, for frigging hell's sake, right? Why would you be afraid? You want to act, you want to walk on a set, on TV set, you want to walk onto the set of a show, and you'll have 50 people around you, cameramen in your face, makeup artists, directors, producers, all shouting at you to do stuff. How can you be afraid to come and rock up to a meeting of 30 actors? Like, you're going to die in this industry if you can't just, tip up and go, all right, can I have a brew? I mean, it's not that hard, is it? But I get it. If you have social anxiety or whatever like that, this is the one to come down to, because there'll be mulled wine on tap for a start, Nutella pancakes and God knows what else, Christmas cheer. But they're just super relaxed. Don't be afraid. everyone's so nice and supportive. So please come down, but keep an eye on the Facebook group, which you're in now, right now, or the Facebook page, which you're on right now if you're watching this broadcast, to be honest. And you lot on the replay, it's just facebook.com/@onthis TV. Inez says, my ducks are rebelling and running around in different directions. It takes quite a bit of fierce management. Inez, round them up. You've got 3 weeks to round them up. But honestly, I can't tell you how good it feels when I will, I'll be hustling until like 4 p.m. on Christmas Eve. I know I will do it every year. I'll send you lot a Christmas video out, like a Christmas message about 4 p.m. That'll be the last email I send. I'll shut my laptop, and just shutting that laptop and going, oh my God, right, for the next 10 days, I know I have nothing left to do. Because I'm not going to work on the website. I'm not going to do any broadcasts, I don't think, or anything like that. I'm just going to spend 10 days with my family and just enjoying Christmas and just probably overindulging. But it's lovely to be able to do that guilt-free, because you've used these 3 weeks now to get yourself in a position where you can do that. Don't be lazy and just fuck up these next 3 weeks and then go into Christmas, because every mince pie you eat and every tub of Pringles you eat and every Baileys you have, you're going to be guilty, because in the back of your head you're going to be anxious that you've got all this shit to do in January. Honestly, I only know that because I've been there. I did this for years. It was 2014. It changed my life when I started getting into proper strategic goal setting, and I'm going to talk you guys through that next week, so you actually have a plan of real goal setting, which isn't just I want to make more money next year. I want to make more money next year is the biggest load of bullshit as a goal. What do you want? What's your goal for next year? More parts on TV. Oh, brilliant! What a fantastic goal that is. It's impossible, because it's not specific. You can't measure it. How do you take specific action on that? It's not necessarily realistic, depending on where you're at in your career. And it's not time bound, because you're just going, right, well, I'll just do it sometime next year. So when do you want it? January? Do you want it February? March? When do you want it? So we're going to set real goals next week. I'm going to teach you guys how to do that. It will absolutely change the way that you just attack anything, not just the acting industry. So what else is going on in here then? Let's have a look at some comments. Indra says, this is on topic. I'm not on Spotlight yet. Do you think I should try and get an agent? Every agent I've interviewed on ActsOnThis.tv, which is many now, have said, I mean, it comes out of this, Indra. It comes ultimately, right? Comes out of this for everybody. Whether you're going to get an agent with or without Spotlight comes out of one thing: how good you are. It's just as straightforward as that. There's no agent in the land that's going to see you on tape if you've got a scene and you blow them away because your acting ability is so good. There's no agent in the land that's going to go, oh, I'm so sorry, no, I'm not going to rep you because you've not got Spotlight. They'll work with you to get Spotlight very, very quickly. But it's the market decides all of this. Ultimately, it just depends how good you are. So if you're good, Indra, I've never seen you act, mate, but if you're good, then yes. I want people to stop looking at anything in life as to like fit into this infrastructure that's been put there. So many people like just want to abide by all the rules because they've been put there, and that's the way that it's been done. And the landscape is changing in our industry so much, and I love it actually, because I'm seeing people who have like, been the gatekeepers panic a little bit. Because it's almost like, actually, soon you're not going to be all that necessary, because the internet has really leveled the playing field. You don't need to ask permission to do anything these days in order for you to, the market decides what's good. If you created your own series or your own little, 5 episodes of a 10-minute short or whatever it was, and you put that out online and distributed it directly to the market, there's no middleman. You don't need the BBC, you don't need ITV, Channel 4, Sky, nobody. You put it out on YouTube, you put it out on Vimeo, you distribute it on Facebook, Facebook Watch, Instagram, Twitter, all these platforms, and the market, i.e. the people who watch it, not us as well. Stop putting your shows out to actors. You create a show, and then what do? You go and post it in every Facebook group as if like you want a pat on the back. Well done, you've created something. They're not your audience. You're posting it in Facebook groups full of actors because it's a safe group and everyone's going to go, oh, well done, hon, you've shot something. Go and put it out into the real world, the people who would watch you if you were on TV, if you were on, at the big screen at the cinema. And then when you create an audience, and if your work is good, because the market will decide, don't you worry about it if someone has said to you, oh, that's shit, don't do it. Put it out to the world, let them decide, right? And if you then create a huge following, then like the leverage you get from that is incredible. There are people now, you only need to see it, and it makes me laugh when you'll get a YouTuber or an esports person or somebody from the online world who's been put in a reality show, or they're on Dancing on Ice, or they're in I'm in the Jungle, Get Me Out of Here, whatever it is. And you get all the other people slating them. People you'll get actors going, oh, what? Who the fuck's he? Got it. What does he do? YouTube, whatever. Yeah, the guy's got 8 million followers on YouTube, and that hasn't happened by accident, right? You're just jealous because they've got more leverage than you, because you think, for whatever reason, that your skill of acting is more important than that guy's skill of making videos and making people laugh or being stupid or whatever it is. It's not at all. They've amassed an audience, and now they're leveraging it to get further in life than you. So don't be bitter about it and just slag them off. Go and do it yourself. If you're that good, create shit. Put it out there, create an audience, get people to watch it, and you'll be so surprised then in terms of the leverage that you get. And then people just want you in shows because of that leverage. So it's always the market. The world is very, very fair if you put the effort in and you're good enough. You can go straight to the market. You don't need to be in a BBC drama for you to actually be discovered. You really can go and do something yourself. So it's a long-winded answer there, Indra. But mate, ultimately, yeah, you should try. If you think you're good, don't wait to get spotlight to try and look for an agent. Go and show an agent right now why they should take you on. Have something filmed. Send them some class footage. That's what I did. I left drama school. And I had no agent. Well, I did actually, but it was an agent I'd been with from as a child. I was too loyal. I shouldn't have stayed with them, but I did. Graduated and I stayed with them, and it was too long. I shouldn't have been with them. And I had nothing to show. I had no TV work. I had nothing. So I just went to an acting class for TV because I'd done barely any TV training at drama school. It was a total farce, really. I wanted to do TV, and we just did 3 years of theatre. And I sent the agents in Manchester, the top agents in Manchester, I just sent them 3 scenes from class. That was it. That's all I had, mate. And they were shot like shit on a little handy cam. This was like 2007 or something like that. It was awful quality, mate. It's all I had though. But I thought, you know what? I think I'm pretty good. I'm just going to send them this. It would not have worked as a show reel. I couldn't have sent it to casting directors necessarily. But for an agent, when they would just want to see what I would be like in an audition environment, because that's what the class environment was. And it got me meetings, mate. So ultimately, if you're good enough, apply now. Don't wait for Spotlight. It's not, if you're on Spotlight and you're not good, it's not going to get you an agent. If you're not on Spotlight and you're good, you're still going to get an agent. So be good, basically. Just be as good as you can be. Sharon says she's not on Spotlight yet. She's got an agent. Not got much work, but she's getting a show reel, which they said would help. Absolutely, Sharon. See, just do it. Do it, man. You don't ask permission either. Don't ask permission from anybody else, Indra. Now, don't go and ask any other actor whether you should, because if they've had a bad experience and they've not got an agent and they're not a Spotlight, they'll tell you don't do it, and you won't do it because you'll think they're giving you good advice. Just do it. Find out for yourself. Janet's got a question. I don't know where to look to find breakdowns and information as to what TV shows and films are being made. A couple of places, really. You know what, Janet? Like, it's hard to find stuff like very early on. A lot of the stuff that's announced through sites like Broadcast. That's a magazine you can subscribe to, or digitally you can subscribe to it. Stuff like IMDb Pro, or the press sites for ITV, Channel 4, BBC. A lot of the shows, unfortunately, will not get announced until the day of or the day after the Block 1 read-through. Now, that doesn't mean that the whole show's been cast. So, for instance, I was at read-through recently for Russell T Davies's new BBC drama Boys, and at the Block 1 read-through, actually no, we did the whole thing. It's 5 episodes. We did the whole thing in one. Normally you'd do Block 1 read-through, which would be episodes 1 and 2, or episodes 1, 2, and 3, and then you do a Block 2 read-through, which would be like 4, 5, and 6, and they would be months apart because they go and film Block 1 first. The announcement would come after the Block 1 read-through, so you'd still have an option as an actor to write to the casting director casting the show, because they still have episodes 4, 5, and 6 to cast. So that's an option, but a lot of the time, to get in really early, it's very, very difficult to find that information unless you are very well connected with the casting directors or the production companies. Ways you can become more connected is obviously follow all the production companies online, make as many contacts when you do get a job. If you're on set with the production secretaries, with the producers, with the people from the production companies, ultimately, you just give them as much value as you can, be as helpful as you can, and just try and, make contacts and become mates with people, because then you get the inside track on stuff. Be great in your auditions so you can build rapport with casting directors so they will bring you in for stuff. IMDb Pro is something. There's something called The Knowledge as well, which is a cast and crew kind of thing where they're looking for crew. If they're looking for everything from like DOPs and grips and electricians and all that kind of stuff. There's something called The Knowledge. It's a subscription-based thing. I think it's quite expensive. And the other way would be to have a decent agent who's well connected as well. So it's difficult. There's not one route, Janet. It's about being a detective ultimately, and also being nice and kind to other actors. So if they get an audition in week 1, and I've had this before where, I've got an audition off the back of a friend of mine has been in for something. They've had the privilege of being given the full script for episode 1, which doesn't always happen, but they've been given it, and they've gone, mate, there's a part in this that sounds just like you. It's not the part they were going for, but they've been like, you need to be seen for this. So I've then rang my agent and said, how do we kind of crowbar in that we know about this without getting into trouble? Can I get an audition for it? So that works sometimes as well. It's about being the best detective you can be. Tony says, so we shouldn't include dickhead in our cover letters. Definitely not, Tony. Don't do that. But if you include anything else, that isn't offensive, you're not going to get blacklisted by these people. This is this weird imaginary thing actors have where, like, if I write to this casting director and I say the wrong thing, I'll be blacklisted forever. I mean, what are you writing in these emails? What could possibly be the wrong thing? Unless you are being, really offensive, no one's going to care. Just write your emails. You've lost if you don't. So you might as well try, and then if you lose, you haven't lost anything anyway. Definitely. And Tony says, no, we're not going to upset people. It's just put, good. We're not going to upset people in the way we think. Yeah, exactly. Definitely. Just do it. Just do it. David in the house. Hope you're well, mate. Get the mulled wine down you and crack on. Yeah, we have mulled wine at the Acts on this meetup. Steve's just joined as well. I'm just going through all these comments. The 27 comments have just popped up. Let's have a look. Sophia's here. There's loads of chats going on. Darren's just joined. Any other questions? I wrote to a casting director, sweet and simple, and got an audition on the back of it. Carly, you know what? You are just putting into practice everything that I've said. So, and it's not that I am Nostradamus or can just predict this shit. It's just dead simple. If you want something, how are you going to get it? Well, you go and ask somebody for it. I was like, put stuff out on Twitter, tag people in it. Carly put a scene out on Twitter. She got an agent from it, and a decent agent as well. Janet Hampson, who used to be a casting director, a top comedy casting director. She was a casting director at Coronation Street for quite a while as well. She's now gone into agenting. Carly's now signed with her because she actually just, put herself out there. This is really simple stuff. This is why I'll keep saying it. I've been saying this for 8 years, and I'll keep saying it. And people will be like, Ross, I'm surprised I don't get messages like, Ross, your live broadcasts are all the same. You're just saying the same shit. Put stuff out there. Ask for what you want. Reach out to people. Send stuff. Ignore other people's opinions. But it's just because it's true. It just works. It's dead simple stuff. But a lot of people are so afraid to ask for anything. Because of what? Because of what someone's going to think. It doesn't matter. The people you're afraid of upsetting, they're not going to be around the table at Christmas dinner, are they? They're not going to be round your bed when you're dying. It doesn't matter. Stop putting other people's opinions of you ahead of your own opinion of yourself. All right, Tom. So Tom says, I've sent out over 100 emails to agents over the last few weeks because I've got a new show reel and headshots. Feel like a silly question, but would you use the next 3 weeks to email casting directors that show reel while waiting for replies from the agents? Yes, mate. 100%. So you've sent it all out to the agent, so you've covered one area of your career, but why not go straight to market, like I said before, because ultimately it's the market that's going to decide, and the market is either the end user, so the people, if you had content you'd already created, maybe your own pilot or maybe your own web series or whatever, put it out to the general public. Don't put it in an acting group. It's bullshit. No one cares. In the most brutal way, unless they know you, no one gives a shit. It's true, isn't it? It's just they're all bothered about their own careers and their own work. It's a waste of your time posting it in acting groups full of other actors. You might get the odd well done, woo, but that's it. Put it out to the actual people who would watch you if you're on TV. If your web series was a sci-fi web series, get online, get on Facebook, seek out the biggest sci-fi groups on Facebook you can find. If it's a bit similar, like a Star Wars or a Star Trek thing, find all the Star Wars groups, all the Star Trek groups. If it's an Outlander style thing, find all the Outlander groups. Find your audience. And your audience will change depending on the genre of the thing that you've shot. But your audience, I promise you, are not actors. They don't care and they can't give you work. They might occasionally be able to collaborate with you, but you want to build and leverage a real audience. So you've covered your audience in terms of your agents for now. But then if you want to go direct to the people who can give you a job, mate, casting directors, do it now. Definitely. And the good thing is, at this time of year, everyone's in a good mood, aren't they? Seriously, most people are looking forward to Christmas and they're in a good mood, mate. So if you ask people for things between now and Christmas, I think you're way more likely to get them because people are looking forward to that break and the family and all the stuff that goes with Christmas. That's why I always tell people, if you have a big ask to ask of somebody, do it on a Friday morning before 1 o'clock, because everyone's in a good mood, because it's coming to the weekend. You know, it's an early dart from the office. If, you know, even agents do that, even casting directors do that, you know, or, you know, I've been in lots of offices of agents and casting directors, and on a Friday afternoon, the Prosecco comes out. Like, seriously, right? It's like, I mean, like, it's just honesty, right? So people are happy, you know. They get an email and they're like, you know, someone's asked them for something and they wouldn't normally be up for it because they're stressed on a Monday morning. On a Friday afternoon, it's very different. So ask now, Tom. Definitely, mate. Do it. It's not. It's definitely. It's definitely the right thing to do. And you know what? If you don't get anything back, then go again in January. You've lost nothing. You've got to ask for what you want. And sometimes it takes a few emails to penetrate, like, somebody's barriers, you know, of going, oh, okay. You know, this happens to me sometimes. It takes me a while to get back to some people sometimes. But then if I get like 2 or 3 emails on the bounce from somebody, I'm like, holy shit, right, I must get back to this person. You know, sometimes it takes me 7 days, 10 days to get back to somebody. But sometimes it takes a few nudges before you're like, right, I'm going to do this right now. So do it. Carly says you can take credit for it all. It's on the back of the podcast. I'm not even lying. Cheers, Carly. But it's not me, is it, though? This is what I mean. The podcasts on ActsOnThis.tv are just bullshit-free, actionable advice, basically. And it's coming from the biggest names in the business. You know, if we go down, you know, if we just look on What's New Here and you go down, like, the features. So you got great agent there, Regan Talent. So you got Nicola and Bryony. Steve Everts, you know, one of the best actors we've got in the UK, without a doubt, you know, and he's completely no bullshit. Ryan Clayton from Corrie, Chris Hitchin, you know, is starring in Ken Loach's latest film, Sorry We Missed You, an international cinema release that's supposed to be Ken Loach's best work. Incredible, complete no bullshit. Melissa Johns, we've got Andy Pryor, one of the, you know, it's got to be in the top 3 casting directors in the UK. Only cast things like Doctor Who, you know, Gentleman Jack, years and years, Russell T Davies's Boys. Like, you know, this is all, you know, just from the horse's mouth, so to speak, in terms of, you know, the best agents, the best casting directors, the best actors, bullshit free. And we just say, you know, tell it how it is. And I promise you, it's called Act on This, because if you act on this information, you're going to win. You're going to win. I mean, it's binary. It's just straightforward. Alex says you don't have to ask permission. Just do the work, pay due diligence, and keep moving forward. Definitely agree, man. 100%. Definitely. When you tag on Twitter content, do you just write tweet with e.g. So if you're tagging someone in something on Twitter, Marek, if you never used it before, everyone has a username which is different to their display name. It'll be in a little grey font underneath their display name, and it'll start with an @ sign. If you need to mention somebody, you have to type the @ symbol, and then their username, and then they'll get a notification to say Marek has mentioned you in a tweet. If you just write somebody's name, they're not going to see it. So you've got to just actually include the @ sign and their username. I got an audition, says Lowry, through Twitter the other day. See, there you go. Works, doesn't it? John says, I was thinking about being clear on goals. I'm currently looking at my identity as an actor right now, and I'm taking some action moving forward. Just appreciate tonight's chat. It's really interesting to think about. Okay, John. Well, yeah, we're going to do goal setting next week, mate. I'll definitely do that before Christmas. Without a doubt. So yeah, I mean, that's just the message tonight, really. It's just gone 10 o'clock, so we'll wrap it up. But ultimately, yeah, you've got 3 weeks. Let's not waste the next 3 weeks just eating mince pies. Do that, but whilst you're doing it, send some emails out. That's a thing as well, you know. 5 emails to 5 targeted casting directors that aren't just copy and paste, you know, dear sir, madam. Never do that. And we talk in every single interview I do with these casting directors and agents, actually what they want to see in emails, even down to a lot of the time. We even talk about like the subject line that you need to write in order for it to be, you know, filed in the right place or seen or whatever. But to write 5, honestly, they're like, they're the 15-minute jobs for like 1 email. You know, you're looking at less than 2 hours, right, work between now and Christmas to just write to, you know, half a dozen, you know, I'd write to more than that. But even if you're just going to put a couple of hours in, you know, it's not taking up all of your time. And you can do it with some Christmas music on. You can do it with I always do it with I've drank it, but a latte, a mince pie from Costco, because they're the best mince pies on the planet. put some Christmas music on, and just ask for what you want. It's as if you're writing your Christmas list, but you just write it to a casting director going, Dear Andy, for Christmas, I would like 1 lead role in your next drama, 2 supporting roles in future dramas coming up, and a starring role in a massive Hollywood blockbuster. But yeah, just ask for more. I say that thing though, a life will pay any price you ask of it, but what you're asking for, and a load of you not asking for anything. You know, even to a certain extent, I include myself in that, you know. I'm just not asking for even more. I think I asked for quite a bit, but I think I could ask for more. Definitely. You know, just see what happens. People can only say no. Joanne got an agent last week after doing everything I've heard here. Yeah, exactly, Joanne. And I love that. That was another message. I get messages all the time. I'm not, you know, don't publicise it. I'm not just blow my own trumpet, because a lot of the time it's not advice necessarily from me, it's from the guests that I bring on. But I just promise you, you know, I get emails from people all the time that are like, I've just listened to this, I did this, I sent this, and now I've got an agent, now I've got a job, now I'm flying here to shoot this thing, was a message I got from someone the other day. They're flying out to America. It's real, you know, not lying. I don't publicise it because I just think, you know, it's a twatty thing to do really, isn't it? But it is real. It does happen. Just take action, act on it, and you'll get the results. So I'm going to be back next Monday for this goal setting. Let's do goal setting next week, next Monday night, 9 p.m. Those people who were fortunate enough to get a Black Friday lifetime membership to act on this, that blew my mind, you know. I wanted to do something just for the community, for people who are like the most dedicated. And I just put like 10 passes out. I went, listen, if you pay 2 years annual membership, I'll give you a lifetime pass. Ollie, my marketing guy, didn't want me to do it because like it's just not good business sense. But I thought, no, I'm going to do it just for 10 people. I put it out on the wrong Friday, didn't I? I didn't know Black Friday was just gone. I put it out the week before, so I had to do another 5 this Friday, just gone. But before I could turn it off, 13 people had jumped in. So blew my mind how many people wanted to get in. But for those people who did, and a few of you are on here tonight, we're going to do a special goal setting training for you guys as well. That was something I promised people who took up a lifetime membership. But we will do one for everybody next Monday, and then we'll go into some more depth individually for people who took those memberships out as well. Before Christmas, we'll get that done. Definitely. Can we email you via the mailing list email? Is that the right email? You can always you can reply to any mailing, any time I send an email through my mailing list, you can always reply to that, Carl, and it'll come to me. Or if you ever just want to just send me an email, it's just ross@actonthis.tv. That applies to anyone. If I can do anything for anybody, sometimes it takes me a week or 10 days to get back to people, but yeah, ross@actonthis.tv. And I reply to every single one. So it takes a little while, but I will always reply. You can tweet me, you can Instagram, direct message me or whatever. I'm available on a lot of platforms, but it just takes me a little while to get back to people. But yeah, so I hope you found that useful. Hope it spurred you on, fired you up to get out there, get some shit done, stop making excuses, you know, stop asking for permission. That's the main thing from tonight. Stop asking for permission. You don't need it. You don't need permission from anybody but yourself, and you certainly don't need permission. You don't need to ask that thing. You don't need to ask somebody if it's all right to even send them an email. I mean, that's getting one step even removed, where it's like, I'm not only asking for, you know, permission in my email, I'm initially asking permission to even send you the email. You don't need to do that. Just get it done. Just send your email. Definitely ask for what you want. And if you don't get a reply, write again. Not straight away, but write again, you know, and ask again. Sometimes it will take a few asks. Every guest I get on Acts on This, generally speaking, hasn't said yes straight away, by the way. I often have to nudge them, message them again, and hound them and threaten to kidnap their children. So that's another tactic as well. Joking, obviously joking. Right, I'm going to go. Thank you so much for being here. Really do appreciate it. If I can do anything for you, please let me know. And those listening on the audio experience, come and join us live at some point in the future. Facebook.com/ActOnThisTV. Facebook.com/groups/ActOnThisTV. And if you're listening to this before the 7th of December, keep an eye on the group and the Facebook page for the Christmas meetup. I'll put details of that out soon. Would love to see you there. Have a mulled wine with you that's extortionately priced. It's probably about £7 or whatever it is this year at the Christmas markets. But come down. We'll spend all our money on mulled wine and Nutella, pancakes, and absolutely have the time of our lives. So thanks for being here. Until next time, lots of love, and bye for now. All right? Oh, have I got anything to play you to go out on? I don't think I've got anything to play. Normally I play like a little trailer out, won't I? I don't have a trailer yet, and that's because the next feature is going to be a live broadcast. give you a little hint of a secret then. So the next thing I'm going to do for premium members of ActOnThis.tv before Christmas is going to be a live online broadcast where you'll be able to join with your video and audio, and it's with one of the UK's top casting directors. You'll be able to literally talk to them from your own home. Premium members only. If you've not got a membership, that's why you want to go and get one. So I'll leave you with that, all right? Until next time, bye for now.